To borrow the words of Aaron Rodgers, relax. I get it. Just like the Rockets, the Raptors were getting blown out and almost immediately people started to panic. Just breathe. Does it suck that the Raptors lost their home opener? Of course it does. But with so many new pieces both in the starting lineup and coming off the bench, it is going to take some time to gel. However, when you look at that fourth quarter, that is how the Raptors need to be playing for all of their quarters. Banton really sparked the Raptors in the fourth, starting it off with a half-court banger, which ended the third. But then we saw why Masai and the Raptors front office wanted Banton. He forced his turnovers with his length and height, and his athleticism and passing allow him to be a force in transition. Additionally, his frame and body lets him take advantage of smaller opponents. He only had 7 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal, but he did all of that in just 12 minutes of play, and he finished with a plus-minus of +8, which led the team by far. I think it speaks a lot of volume that he was picked over Malachi Flynn to be the first point guard off the bench in this game. We'll have to monitor the situation in the next few games. I'm not sure if Banton has surpassed Flynn in the pecking order or if it was just a one-off thing to get the team's engine running. But it is interesting. Outside of the fourth quarter, the Raptors were shit, especially on offense. As a team, they shot 30.9% from the field and 20.6% from 3 while committing 19 turnovers. Going into the season, we knew that their half-court offense would be their weakness. It does not help that their two go-to scorers in Fred VanVleet and OG Anunoby had completely shocking performances. Fred was 5 for 20 from the field and a horrid 1 for 9 from 3, while OG was 3 for 17 from the field and a disastrous 2 for 9 from the 3, in which both threes came in the fourth when they made their little run. There is no other way to put it. From a shooting perspective and from a scoring perspective, they were both straight booty. However, if one thing is certain is that they will regress to the mean, essentially meaning that they will play more towards their career averages rather than whatever the hell the last night was. Similar to those two players, the team as a whole will regress to the mean. No way will they average 30% from the field and 20% from the 3 the entire season. Look, I get the frustration for the lack of offense and the offensive sets, but sometimes it is just about hitting your shots, and the Raptors just didn't do that. I'm not sure if they were really amped up, but they were missing a lot of easy interior and perimeter shots and thus fell behind early. Once you fall behind early, it's annoying to claw back into the game. Scotty had an up and down game in the sense that there were moments where you were amazed and excited for his potential, and then there were moments where you're like, oh, so that is why they call them rookies. However, that is exactly the type of games you want to see. He shot poorly, going 5 for 13 from the field and missing his lone 3 attempt, while also committing 6 turnovers. The turnovers are alarming, but if you actually watch the games, you would realize that he is not your typical rookie. The amount of touches he gets and the responsibility he has already on his plate, it is kind of understandable to see why he has so many turnovers. Majority of them were just boneheaded plays that he could quickly mop up and clean up. Other than that, I'm always looking for moments where he's playing against the opposition's best player. In this game, it was Bradley Beal. He did a pretty good job on one of the best scorers in the league and honestly got me excited to see more matchups like this. After an awesome preseason, Precious got the start at center. Just like the rest of the team, he was alright. He had his moments, but overall he only played 19 minutes while Kem Birch played 26. I feel like Precious is a more versatile and dynamic player, but Kem is just what the Raptors need at center right now, an interior scorer who can rebound and protect the rim. It will be interesting to see how they split minutes against teams with better bigs like the Suns, Sixers, or even the Bucks. Look, overall, the team did what they needed to do defensively. They were able to force Bradley Beal into an inefficient night while he shot 7 for 19 from the field and 1 for 6 from 3. Even Kuzma, Dinwiddie were struggling. The defense was holding up their end of the bargain. Their identity is intact. If it was not for Harrell finding his 6th Man of the Year version of himself, then this would have been an imitation of the 70s and it would have been a tight, low-scoring game. In today's NBA, if you are limiting your opponent to below 100 total points, that is a great defensive game. They also forced 21 turnovers, which needs to be their bread and butter game in, game out. Trust me, as long as their defense is consistent, they will be just fine. And once the offense catches up, the wins will catch up too. Remember, breathe in and breathe out. Because in the end, it's going to be okay. The Raptors are still a playoff team. And remember, help is on the way.